To understand who you are, we have to go back 13.8 billion years, all the way to the very first spark of everything. Right now, you are the final page of the longest story ever told. A story so old, it is almost impossible to imagine. To understand who you are, we have to go all the way back to the very beginning of everything. 13.8 billion years ago, there was nothing. No stars, no space, no time, nothing at all. And then, in a single instant, everything burst into being. Energy, matter, space, and time itself, all born at once. We call this the Big Bang. And the story of that energy and matter, we gave a name. We call it physics. For a long time, the young universe was just a hot, glowing fog. Then, slowly, it began to cool. And tiny pieces of matter started to clump together. The very first atoms were born. And those atoms joined hands, forming molecules. The story of atoms we call chemistry. For billions of years, this was the whole story. Just stars, dust, and stone. A universe full of beauty, and yet completely empty of life. Then, on one small rock, circling one ordinary star, a planet we would one day call Earth, about 3.8 billion years ago, something impossible happened. In a warm little pool, certain molecules began to do a brand new trick. They began to copy themselves again and again and again. They grew, they changed, and somehow they came alive. The first living things had appeared. We call them organisms. The story of life we call biology. And for billions of years more, life simply crawled, swam, and grew. But here is the strange part. Life changed painfully slowly. A creature could only change as slowly as its genes could change. And that takes thousands, sometimes millions of years. Now, let us shrink all of that time into a single day. The Big Bang at midnight. Earth forming in the afternoon. On that scale, all of human history fits into the final few seconds. And it is in those last seconds that our story truly begins. About 70,000 years ago, on the plains of Africa. One small, unremarkable animal began to do something no creature ever had. It was not the strongest, it was not the fastest, it was often afraid. But inside its mind, a new kind of magic had appeared. It began to imagine, to dream, to tell stories. That animal was us, Homo sapiens. The name means the wise human, though we were not always so wise. And slowly, we began to build things that had never existed before. Beliefs, songs, rules, gods. We built cultures. The story of cultures we called history. And unlike biology, history did not crawl. It did not wait for genes. It could leap forward in a single generation. And it leapt 3 times. 3 great revolutions that made us who we are. 3 revolutions changed everything. The first was the cognitive revolution, 70,000 years ago. The day our minds learned to believe in things that are not real. Money, gods, nations, laws. None of them exist except in our shared imagination. And yet, those invisible stories let millions of strangers work as one. We will return to that strange power in the very next episode. The second was the agricultural revolution, 12,000 years ago. The day we stopped wandering and learned to farm the land. It fed millions, but it may also have been history's greatest trap. That story, too, we will come back to. And the third was the scientific revolution, just 500 years ago. The day we finally admitted how little we truly knew. And that small admission changed our world faster than anything before it. In just a few centuries, we went from candles to cities of light, from walking to standing on the moon. That last revolution is still unfolding, right now, all around you. And it may be the one that ends history as we have always known it, or begins something entirely new. This is the story of all of it. How a frightened little animal stuck in the middle of the food chain became the master of the entire planet. How a handful of invisible stories built empires, wars, and wonders. And the biggest question of all, hiding behind everything we built. After conquering the world, are we actually any happier for it? We will chase that question all the way to the end of this series. Because this is not just the story of humanity. It is the story of everything that made you, you. And it all began 13.8 billion years ago. It all began with a bang. And that is where everything begins. Next time, we meet the strangest revolution of all. The day our minds learned to believe in things that are not real, and how that single trick let us conquer the world. If this gave you chills, share it with one person who needs to see it, and I will see you in the next episode.